November 10, 1942. Dear Margie. Your letter received a few minutes ago. The instruments arrived yesterday, as I have already told you, I believe. Today has been really miserable, rain and wind. We were paraded downtown to see a show this morning and got damn good and wet, both coming and going. This afternoon we lay around the hut listening to lectures. Boy, was it monotonous. I think it's clearing up now, but the wind to the north and turning colder. Wouldn't be surprised if we had snow by morning. I hope not, as we have a full day of field tactics Thursday. Yes, dear, I have some good news, and it has nothing to do with paratroops. I can hardly wait until Friday night, darling. Try not to let me down, but I don't mean to put you in a spot, dear. I'm just anxious to have you with me for all the time possible. I will get a room for you at the same hotel and meet you at the bus stop. By the way, darling, would you bring my shoes up? Army boots won't be so good on the feet, dear. Bring up all the rulers, dear, and an eraser that's in the drawer. Well, darling, guess this is all for the present. So, until tomorrow, sweetheart, and with all my love to the sweetest girl on earth. As ever. Roger XXXXX. November 11, 1942. Dear Margie. Just a couple of lines, darling. This will be the last letter you will get from me until next week. It is pretty cold but clear with some snow, and it looks as if we will get more, so bring your overshoes. Don't forget you will need them. If your bag won't hold them, leave my shoes behind, but bring the overshoes. We have been out all afternoon practicing for the big maneuver tomorrow. We will start in the morning and go all day, so expect to be pretty tired. We had more gas today as well, a nose gas. There was no odor to it at all. Then it suddenly gagged you, causing choking and sneezing, pains in the teeth and gums. A few of the lads were sick at the stomach. It's really nasty stuff. We just had a light dose of it, but it's enough for me. Well, darling, guess this is all for the present, as I have to get back to camp early this evening. I have some things to do. I want to have all my washing and mending done before the weekend, or I won't get a chance before I go on draft. So, bye-bye for the present, dear. We'll see you at the bus stop Friday night. All my love, Margie. As ever. Roger XXXX.
Kitchener, Ontario. November 14, 1942. Dear Margie. Now to try and concentrate with a lot of talking going on and trying to carry on a conversation too, some fun. I'll try and answer all the questions, just then give you my doings. Yes, Margie, I still think the Army is the tops. Now that we are finished our basics and are on this course, we have a grand time. We get every weekend off, and I go to Galt and have a merry time in more ways than one. Keep it under your hat, Mother would take a fit if she thought I was having a merry time. I'll give you a tip, the Wrens have a terrible name in Galt, and that is their training center for Canada. Skip says that most of them aren't worth wiping their feet on, so that is the reputation they have there. Margie, you asked if I know what Mother would like, also Dad. Gosh, that is rather hard, but I know they would like it personal. Not cosmetics for Mom then, as she has 2 sets from other years. I think something in the clothing line, like slip or underwear for Mom and a sweater coat for Dad. That is really the only things I can think of. Talking about gifts, Margie, I don't want you to get me anything, as I've just got for the 3 boys in uniform and can't afford anyone else at present. I hope you don't mind this time, my dear, but it is taking a whole check to get home and back again. 90 cents a day with $10 a month off doesn't go very far. As I read farther, I saw you mention umbrella. Gee, Marg, she would certainly like that, I know. My leave has been changed to Christmas, but we have only about 3 days at best. I'll have part of 2 days home and all Christmas Day. We have lots of snow here, nearly a foot, terribly icy too. You nearly break your neck every time you go out. I was sorry to hear of Bill Lott too. I saw him on his way through a couple of years ago, before he went into the Air Force. I felt like crying when I heard it. He is another for the Bracebridge list. I'm afraid there will be a very large one too. It kind of brings things home to you, doesn't it? Well, Margie, I was dancing last Saturday night with Skip. Our Saturdays are getting to be a habit, and we kind of plan the next week while waiting for the trolley Monday mornings. We usually have a couple of beers at the shop before and after the dance and then go for a lunch. It has been 4 o'clock every morning when we got in. Yesterday, Sunday, Skip took us to Dundas to visit his uncle Chester Walton, a friend of ours too. Chester could hardly believe his eyes when he saw me in uniform. He is a married man with 2 children, but he is separated from his wife. The first died. It was good to see him again though. When we got back to Galt, we, Skip and I, went off in the car. We were going to the midnight show, but changed our minds and went for a lunch instead, then back home. Well, Margie, there isn't much more to write about, so we'll close for the time. I'm writing this on my knee in the washroom. It is past midnight, in fact it is getting on towards 2 o'clock, but you see we are working nights and don't get back to camp until 12 o'clock and then go for our breakfast or supper, whichever you want to call it. We don't get up until 10 o'clock though. So we get a fair amount of sleep. Well, Margie, I really must go, so night-night. Remember, hello to all the folks for me, won't you? Love and kisses from your sister, Joyce. Change in address. W20294. Boyer. Staff hut, clerical course. Hashtag 3C.W.A.C.B. TC. Kitchener.